right, welcome back. We're going to tie a hollow body foam frog. This is a pattern I developed. It's a fun pattern to tie, fun pattern to fish. I haven't had a ton of success, but the concept fishes uh, well. We don't know if it catches, but it fishes. I'll show you how to do it. I'm just going to make one alteration for this one though. So you need 3 pieces of foam. These are 2 mil pieces, and this is a 4 mil piece. This is what I'm changing. I'm going to add a small strip of 4 mil. The previous flies I've tied had all 3 pieces were 2 mil. So we'll start with our legs. We have round rubber. I'm going to take sections of 3 or 4 maybe. Yeah, we'll do this section here, cut it out, and then is there 4 on this? Take 1 off. I'll do 4 here as well. And we will cut that out. All right. So we have our 2 sections of 4 strands of rubber leg material. We'll knot them up. These will be our legs. You could add some knee joints or different features to the legs, but we're going to just keep it simple. So there's 1 foot, and then here's the next foot. I'll knot it up real fast. And there's the next foot. All right, we got our feet. And now this is our hook. Our hook is a wide gap worm hook. This is for bass fishing, so you'd buy this hook in a tackle shop. But I chose this one because it has a little bit more real estate toward the eye, so we can tie in. Not 100% necessary, but nice to have just a little bit more area to tie in there. So we'll get her in the vise. And then we'll get some thread. I should have prepared the thread earlier, but there's not a lot of tying. So we'll just go with the brown, and we'll tie in our legs. There's 1 leg, and you can see how long it will extend. That looks nice. Here's the next leg. We want similar length. Let's just double check the length, see if they're about the same. This one's a little bit shorter, so we'll move it forward a bit. And that should be good. All right, we'll tie those legs in. And then we'll put a couple wraps behind. And then we'll put a couple wraps forward. Let's trim that off. Let's add a base of thread up to the eye, just so there's some material to bind when we glue. Let's go ahead and tie it off. Well, I guess we'll do finger whip finish. And good. And that's it for the tying. All right. So 2 pieces of foam, one is wider than the other. They don't need to be exact. You can alter them as you go. In fact, I would err on the side of wider. So you just trim it down as you tie. For our thinner of the 2 strips, we're going to measure it out because it's going to come in this way. So we'll measure it out about there, not extending about to the barb. So that's the length we want. And we'll mark it, and then we'll cut it, and then we'll shape it. So the shape we're going to want to make a a diamond shape. So we'll just fold it in half. Here's a piece of bucktail. We'll take down the front, and then we'll even out the back first. Then we'll take down the back at a little bit more gradual, a longer cut, and like that. And then that is the shape we want. And it's going to be inserted this way. So then we'll find the midpoint and we'll cut up. So now we have our foam that looks like this. And then we will slide it in. The legs will rest on the foam like that. You can see the eye is still being hindered, but if we push a little bit more, we can get clearance. But let's cut a little bit deeper, maybe 1/2 centimeter, and then we'll cut our tail off and we'll slope that a little bit more. Alterations. All right, that's perfect. And that will sit like this, and then it will come down at an angle. It won't be sitting flush. So that'll create a little bit of cavity, just like that. Let's get some glues. And we'll apply some glues to the bottom of the foam here. And then we'll press that in. Try to lock that in. If you can, avoid getting too much glue on the rubber legs. The rubber and the super glue don't mix very well. A little bit's okay, but a lot causes problems. All right, now our 4mm is going to sit here, and it's going to extend just enough. And this gives a little bit of rigidity to the head and a little bit of space in the body, but we don't want it too long, or it's going to impact the hookup. So even shorter than that. I dropped it. Where did it go? So even a little bit shorter than that will be okay. Good. And we'll add a little bit of glue, and we'll lock that in. All right, so like that. Okay, so that's the shape we want right there. All right, the next piece is going to fit in. We're going to slide it, make a small incision, we'll slide it in, and then we'll pierce a hole there, and we'll fold it over. It's going to be folded over like this. So let's do slight chop, get a little angle, slight cut. That's our glue-in point. And then let's check our work. We'll measure it out. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks okay. We'll avoid trimming too much off the back end. I'm going to take a little bit off the sides, make it a little bit more taper, and I'm going to just take a little bit off each side. I think the fit should be good. Every hook's going to have a different fit. Good. All right. Now we'll glue her on. A little bit of glues. And we'll set it. I should have done cooler color legs, but that's okay. And we'll press it. Press it down. So everything is binding. So you should look like this right now. All right, now we gotta poke a hole in for the eye slot. Little hole, wiggle it. You're just gonna force that through. Yep, that's enough. And now this will be folded back. And again, about to the barb is what we want. Our body piece is slightly too long, so let's take a little bit off of there. The top flap should be longer than the body flap, the bottom flap rather, so. Okay. We'll measure. Do a straight cut first. And then let's try to get a little bit round. A little bit round it off. That looks good. All right. The next step is adding glue to our joints here and then creating a little peak. And the peak will serve as the eye sockets. It helps to fold so you can trace out kind of where you're going. So we're folding like this and we're envisioning where we're going to put that glue and where it's going to glue down. The edges where we have to put the glue. So a little bit of glue in this gap, a little bit of glue in this gap, and then a little bit on the front black tab, and maybe the top there. And let's get that shape, fold it in. And the end result, it should be just sticking straight up vertical. I think it's set. Now we want to start our bend down. Bend down, and we can move the flap under the point of the hook where it will rest, like so. But we have to get the sides down to create that bend in the back. Definitely the hardest part about this. So trace it out first before you start gluing. Trace it out. We're going to squeeze the midsection. We're going to squeeze the midsection. I'll try to turn the vise. Squeeze the midsection like this. And then we'll just add the glue to hold that. We'll squeeze the midsection, add the glue to hold that. I gotta move my hand. There, like this. And then we'll add the glue to hold it in. Okay, so let's start adding our glue. Not on, I would start on the inside and then a little bit on the outside. You could always add more glue. You don't have to do super heavy load on the inside, slightly on the outside. Tracing it out there. Okay. Now let's squeeze her down. And hold it till it sets. The harder you squeeze, the better curve you'll get in the back and the better it'll look. And we will hold it like that. Our fingers are getting glued to the foam. Uh-oh. And squeezing. It's already set. Squeeze it a bit more. Yeah, that's it. Our head has a nice shape. If you don't like these edges, you could knock those off, or you could before you could have trimmed them out. But I think the edges give you a good place to glue on some eyes. Squeeze it a bit more. We're not going to do a paint job today, but you could get all kinds of do all kinds of creative paint. And I don't know why I chose purple. Purple might not be the best color for a frog, but that's it. Should we glue on eyes today? Yeah, we could add some eyes. Let's go ahead and add some eyeballs. We'll do red eyeballs. When I glue on my eyes, I always situate them on my left hand so I can glue with my right hand. I'll do one eye first, right here. And we will take an eyeball, just gently set it in. Take our bodkin before that glue sets to position and then hold her down. Hold her down. That's good. And then other eye. On the other side. Gently place and position. Uh-oh, I took an eye off. That happens. I was too hasty, working too fast. Stuck on my finger. There, it's off. See if we can get it back. There it is, back. All right. So this is the hollow body frog, foam frog. The hook, there's not a lot. There's a gap in the butt. So the 2 mil foam comes down quite easily. So you'll be able to hook up. I'll use this. You'll be able to hook up well, but the hook point is covered so you can drag it. And then there was an angle on the bottom. And so we eliminated that edge on the bottom, so it'll slide well over cover. So it won't get hung up there. The face of this one is not great. I would have liked it a little bit more angular, but that we should have trimmed it. We should have trimmed the angles down harder, but it'll work. So we have our foam hollow body frog. Can't wait till it gets warmer. Should be good. All right. It kind of looks like a Pokemon character. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.